We're the Something Something Cast. This is James Hatton.
This is Podcast Rob.
And you are listening to Faces and Aces Las Vegas podcast, a member of the hashtag Podern family.
Hit me. Dick.
Hey everybody, welcome to Faces and Aces Las Vegas, a podcast where we share great Vegas stories and discuss tips and tricks on how to make your next Vegas trip a better experience. Coming up on today's show, we have so much show to get to, I want to jump right into it. But before I do, there are a couple of people that we need to acknowledge. First things first, you heard at the very top of the show, a new little soundbite that we have that came to us courtesy of the Something Something Cast. Thank you guys for providing that and sending that to us. Appreciate you guys putting the time and effort into creating that little sound drop. Really super cool. If you're not familiar with the Something Something Cast, it is a podcast, kind of a geeky podcast. So the last episode, they did an episode on Deadpool, but not just the movie version. They also covered the comic book because one of them is a hardcore Deadpool fan, so they're able to go back through the entire history of Deadpool and really talk the subject. So if you're a geek like me, definitely please go check these guys out. You can find them at somethingcast.com. We'll provide a link in the show notes. Somebody else I want to throw a little shout out to is the vitalvegas.com podcast. Vital Vegas has been around for a very long time as a blog. Many of us podcasters had gone there to use that website as a resource for many of the news stories that we would discuss on the show. The proprietor of that blog decided, hey, I'm going to start a podcast of my own. And so we welcome you to the podcasting ranks. So go give him a listen to, let him know, give him a nice little iTunes review. Vital Vegas is the name of his podcast. Go check him out. The last thing that I want to do before moving on with the rest of the show is I want to shout out a few other Podern family podcasts, specifically ones that I've been in touch with during this month off from producing this show. In the month off, we've been in touch with Pat and Jason have a podcast, the One Season Wonder podcast, Rebel Radio podcast, Alternate Endings podcast, Afterburn 739, the Mr. BS Show, and the Countdown podcast. All of these people have been, one more, Alien Theorists Theorizing. In some way or another during the month off, I've been in touch with them and they've allowed me to contribute to their shows in some small way. So I do appreciate, I want to throw a special thank you out to all of those shows. And if you're looking for a great podcast to listen to, I highly recommend any of those Podern family shows. Okay, let's get into the show. First up, we have my friend Kyle. He has a great story from his visit to Las Vegas a couple years back. And also, the Something Something Cast guys contributed a name for this segment. Before, I didn't really know what to call it. I think I called it Vegas Story Time last time. Their new suggestion for the Vegas stories is Tales from the Strip. Let's go with that for now. We'll see how it fits. And if you have another suggestion for our Vegas Story Time, or rather Tales from the Strip, hit us up on Twitter. That's what they did. Let us know if you have a great suggestion, and we'll give it a try. So thank you to the Something Something Cast for that suggestion. Let's go right into Tales from the Strip.
So the first time I went out was 2001. I don't know. The first time I went, it wasn't that interesting to me. And, I gambled a little bit, saw a show, and just, it didn't make any sense to me. And then I went out on a trip with some friends, and everything changed. It was like, oh, wow, this is the playground I've been looking for. So, interesting story from that trip. We were staying at the Hard Rock. It was probably a group of 8 buddies, and 2 of the guys were leaving. So we walked over to the Hofbrauhaus to send them off. So we were going to go over and get them drunk and then send them to the airport. So we walk in there, and we sit down at one of those long tables, and I'm looking through the menu. Everyone else is ordering beer, and I don't drink beer. So I find they have an apple brandy shot. So I asked the waitress for a shot of apple brandy. So she comes back with all those big boots of beer and is handing them out, and then she disappears again. And she comes out, and she's carrying a shot of brandy on a long wooden plank. It's very odd. And she hands the shot to me from the wooden plank, and she says, "Take the shot." I said, "Okay." And then she says, "Stand up." Like jokingly, I say, "Okay, what are you going to do, spank me?" And she said, "Yeah, come to the end of the table." So she gets me down there, puts me into position, has me spread my legs, put my hands on the table, and bend over. And everyone is just like in awe of what is about to happen. And all the other tables around us are starting to like stand up and watch. And she's probably, I don't know, maybe 5 foot, 5'2". The wooden plank is probably 4 feet long. And she just winds up and crack. And the echo reverberated through, they have high ceilings there, and everyone just like turned instantly and like started, cheering and applauding. It was so incredibly painful. I mean, this girl she was right-handed and she was a pull hitter. So the paddle hit me on the right butt cheek, and immediately all my friends were like, "Oh, he would like a shot. He would like a shot. He would like a shot." So for the next hour, everyone's getting shots of apple brandy and everyone's getting paddled. And it was just one of the most amusing things I've ever seen in my life. At the same time, I don't think she enjoyed it. It was just something she had to do. Yeah.
I think what really sells it for me is her disinterest.
Yeah. Not into it at all. And we're all joking with her, and she's like, she never cracked a smile. It's like, I do this every day. Yeah.
Okay, here's the big question. How much do you tip for a butt paddle?
20%? Isn't that the going rate? I don't know. I don't know. Every time. So, and what was kind of funny is once the other tables saw this happen, it started happening at other tables. So, I mean, it was just kind of every 5 minutes you just hear this crack, applause, hollering.
Just curiously, is it a family restaurant? Can you go there with kids?
Don't know. I don't.
Okay.
I don't remember if there were children there or not.
Oh, okay. Because if I had kids,
you do the shot and have them get up.
Dad is going to have 4 more shots. Oh. Now get up there. This is where you become a man.
Oh my goodness. So when we got back to our room, we're all like comparing welts, and we all had welts on our right butt cheek, and and they were there for days. I get home and I show my wife, and she's like, "What the heck happened?"
What makes it is if the Hofbrauhaus paddle had like a HB logo on it, so you get branded.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, I gotta back up just a little bit. Wait, okay, so do they ask, at no point do they ask your permission? You sign a waiver when you walk through the door? Nothing like that? You just...
No, and you have no idea. It doesn't indicate anything on the menu. Say, this shot comes with a free paddling. Total surprise. And you know what? I think that's kind of what makes the experience too. For those that don't know that's going to happen, I mean, it's just one of those unique things of Vegas. Like, it's one of those Vegas moments that I remember. I mean, there's a ton of weird stuff has happened to me in Vegas. I don't remember it usually because I'm drinking or whatnot. But that moment was, just ingrained in my memory forever.
Was she wearing lederhosen and did she have braids?
Don't know about the braids, but she did have on lederhosen, the traditional gear, the bustier. So,
oh my God, that's awesome.
So it felt like an authentic paddling. I was trying to think, what movie is Thank You, Sir, May I Have Another? I can't remember. Is that Revenge of the Nerds?
I feel like that's Animal House.
Animal House, yeah. Figure out if they still do this. Go with someone who doesn't listen to the podcast. bait them into ordering a shot of apple brandy or whatever it is, and let the hilarity ensue.
Yeah. Or for that matter, just order them.
Yes.
Yes, I will have a beer, please. And my friend here will have an apple brandy. Wink, wink. And I got to make sure to do it right before it's the drive back to LA.
Oh, that's brutal. Having to sit on one cheek.
Did your friends have to get on a plane right after that?
Yeah. They were annihilated. It was funny to have 4 guys in the bathroom with their pants down, checking out the war wounds.
Oh man, that's just too damn funny. But that's Vegas. That's bonding with brothers, man. Okay, we're going to take a quick break in Kyle's story to play for you our recent experience and interview that we did at Hofbrauhaus. Aaron and I recently went there and sat down and talked to Maria. But before we did that, we had to order an apple schnapps to get the full Hofbrauhaus experience. A couple things you should notice when listening to this particular piece of audio. You'll hear me get hit, and I would estimate that I probably got about 50% of a hit. Yeah, it hurt, but it didn't hurt that badly. I didn't even flinch when I got hit. For some reason, our waitress either took a really big liking or possibly a really big disliking to Aaron. And when he got hit, he got probably an 8 out of a 10, whereas I got a 5 out of a 10. Aaron got hit so hard, you can hear people at the table nearby go, ooh, and then they applaud him for his courage. Just to make sure that you get this, I will play this for you 3 times back to back so you don't have to rewind it the first 2 times at regular speed, the 3rd time in slow motion. Please enjoy.
Right.
All right, and what's the technique? Do I clench?
Both your elbows on the table. Yep. Legs apart, knees straight, just like that.
And do I clench?
Nope, don't move.
All right. Okay, oh, man, you feel the sting on that one. Woo! You know what kills me on that is you feel it, but a good 5 seconds later, it just keeps going. All right, Aaron, buddy, you're up.
Elbows on the table, legs apart.
That was a practice.
Okay, so we're coming to you from the beer gardens at the Hofbrauhaus, and joining me today is Maria. Maria, thank you so much for sitting down and talking with us.
You're very welcome.
How much time do we have, by the way?
I have like 5 minutes for you.
All right, then we got to just get right into it.
Right.
How long have you been working at the Hofbrauhaus?
7 years already.
7 years.
Yes.
Wow, and you must like it.
I do like it. Yeah, it is a really good place. It's really fun, really nice.
What do you like the most about the Hofbrauhaus?
The way that people enjoy the place.
Yeah.
Yes, how much fun they have every time they come here. It is awesome. See the people, how they like the beer, how they enjoy our food, how they dance.
Dancing? Where's their dancing?
They can dance anywhere on the main hall. They can dance like polkas. They can do the chicken dance. You will be amazed how many people enjoy the chicken dance. I didn't even know until I start working here.
Because they do have German polka music playing in the hall while you're eating, and it's lovely.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we actually have a band playing live every day, every single night from 5 to close, which is really nice.
Well, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So what is the favorite thing that when people come here, what would you recommend that they eat?
I love the breaded Jaeger schnitzel, which is the pounded steak, really thin, and it comes with mushroom gravy on top and fried crisped onions, and it comes with the spätzle, which is a German noodle. Really, really nice, very tasty. I loved it.
Yeah. Is this authentic German food?
Totally authentic. Thing is, it's not only German; it's Bavarian food, which is sometimes people get confused a little bit.
Yeah.
They have different food in the north that in the south. So we basically specialize in southern food from Bavaria itself.
Okay. And as far as the beers go, how many selection and variety of beers do you have?
We basically have 3 beers that we sell throughout the years. It's the original, the Dunkel, which is a dark beer, and the Hofbrauhaus, which is wheat beer. And then every 3 months we have a seasonal beer who can go from the dark wheat or Dunkelweizen to the Oktoberfest or the summer beer, the winter beer. It's really nice.
Okay. And I understand there's one other thing that I heard about. You have celebrities come in and do beer tapping every so often?
Yes. Every time that we open a new season, we had a new seasonal beer, we have a celebrity to come and open, tap the keg.
Yeah.
And, it's that cheering all the way up.
Yeah.
And we also have, during Oktoberfest, every Friday and Saturday, we have celebrities coming in to tap kegs too.
How do you know when to come for that?
We totally announce that on our website. We have the outside posted. We have when you get into the restaurant, you see the signs, with the picture of the person who's going to come.
Yeah.
And you can see it all around the restaurant too.
And what other alcoholic drink that you serve, or besides beer, you also serve other shots of other things?
Yes, we have schnapps. Authentic German. We have pear schnapps, apple schnapps. We have the Obstler. We have actually also Jägermeister, which is very popular. And we have full bar. We have ciders, specialty drinks, the whole 9 yards.
Now, there's something special that comes with the shots, though.
Of course. The spankings. Everybody that come here knows about the spanking.
Yeah.
And the bruises that come with it. But it's just part of the fun. It's the entertainment. I mean, who comes here and don't get spanked, don't get the whole idea of what we do.
That's what I heard about this place. That's why we came here today, is because a friend of mine told me about what his experience, or he didn't know. Nobody told him, and he ordered a shot, and then they just told him to stand up and bend over, and he did it.
Surprise! So did you get spanked?
Yeah.
You liked it? Yes, you did. I can see it in your face.
I was going to say, I might have to do this interview standing up.
We can always offer you a bag of ice.
We went out to the car to get all of the equipment to record. And walking out to the car, I said to my friend, I still feel it, man.
Yes, you're going to be okay. In a week or so.
Do you spank people too?
I do. I actually do, and I enjoy it. It was probably your next question was that, and I do enjoy that.
Now, do you play baseball or softball?
I do. Actually, really, really good playing baseball.
Yeah.
I have my heritage is Cuban, so,
So you have a lot of practice swinging a bat.
Yes. I'm a pro. You're going to like it. If I'll do it, you'll like it.
Now, do you look at the person and do you say, okay, judging by this person's size and weight, I'm going to go 50%. I'm going to go 100%. How do you know?
It depends on their faces, and you can see if they're going to like it, harder or softer. It depends. I don't like to hurt people really bad. Of course, that's
fun.
not the idea.
Yeah.
It's just to have fun.
The biggest laugh that I had today, hilarious. Just got smacked. And we have video of it too.
Of course, that's going to be a lifetime experience for you.
Yeah, for sure. Have you ever seen a guy welt up just one tear?
Absolutely. Of course. I mean, a tear or two, it's like a bonus for you.
I just leaned back in my chair and I felt it again. There's a reason why I'm leaning forward in my chair. It's because I got hit in the ass with a paddle about half an hour ago.
Yeah. But I know you liked it. I can see it in your face and the way you laugh about it.
Are you flirting with me?
We can always do it again before you leave.
Aaron, you feel up for another shot? I mean, it was so fun. It's definitely one of those things where I'm going to bring, when I come back to Vegas. I'm not going to tell them. Because when we came in, John warned us. He said, have you heard about it? And I knew, but it's do you have to warn people now? Did you tell people beforehand that it's coming?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
It depends on your friends. So you better pick up your friends really carefully before coming to this place. Sometimes you tell them what is coming.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just know when they see you with the paddle.
Yeah,
And they say, oh my God, it's coming.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just surprise.
Yeah.
So it depends.
How about your family? Have you brought your family here? How about do you have kids?
I don't have kids.
Well, no.
I expect my husband now and then. I do.
I was going to say, if your kids are misbehaving at home, I'm going to take you to work.
Right. Yeah. That sounds really good.
Well, let me ask you about you. Were you born and raised in Las Vegas?
I was born in Cuba.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you said that.
Yes, I
So
was
you were
born in Cuba. Then, of course, like almost every Cuban, I was living in Miami for a while.
Uh-huh.
And then I moved to Vegas, and I've been living here since.
How did you come over to Vegas?
I just decided to try something different.
Yeah.
And that's how I got here.
And do you love it here?
I like it. I actually like to travel a lot when I'm on vacation and that, and I like to see other places. And I believe that we live in a very nice and clean city.
Yeah.
Very safe. So I really, really like Vegas.
Yeah. Do you ever make it out to Los Angeles?
Yes.
You like?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we're from.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I like Los Angeles. It's like driving over there is crazy. The traffic is like, oh my God, compared with what we have here, it's too much for us.
Yeah.
So it's just, I prefer to go places, when the beach is closed, more like that, so I can avoid traffic.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you grew up around the beach, so do you miss the beach?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Do you ever get back to Florida?
Yes. Actually, I was there last August.
Okay, nice.
It was really nice.
So yeah, and so it sounds like, okay. Let me ask you this, because this is something that I do wonder about, and I know you got to go back. In terms of living in Vegas, a lot of people tend to move here because it's a service community where you can live very well, no matter what job you have. Have you found that to be your experience?
Yes, absolutely. And it's a place where you can go and have fun in a lot of places. And Vegas is not huge. And it's mostly, as you say, like a service-driven town. So everywhere you go, you can enjoy the hospitality that we have in here. And I mean, you get like very, very good service almost everywhere.
If you have one place that you would suggest that people visit besides the Hofbrauhaus.
Oh, okay.
Besides the Hofbrauhaus, because everybody needs to come here. Where would you suggest they go?
I can't think of anything else than Hofbrauhaus.
Okay, fair enough. My butt is hot. Is that normal? Is that okay?
You're going to be like that for a while. But as I said before, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
I'm going to get a bag of ice to sit on as I drive around today. Maria, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it so
welcome.
much. Thank you.
Thanks.
Boy. So this is sort of a story wrapped up in a tip. And it's
okay.
So when you come from the East Coast, and you either arrive really early in the morning, so you get in at like 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, or you get in really, really late, and that's kind of like the flight schedule. What happens if you get in really early, it means you were up really early getting to the airport, catching the flight. And so you're pretty worn out by, 10 or 11 that night. And so what I've learned to do is sort of my Ben Franklin technique, where at 10 p.m., I'll go take a nap for like 3 hours. And then I'll wake up at like 1, and I'll stay awake until like 10 o'clock the next day. And what this does is it gives you kind of the best of both worlds. So you wake up at 1 a.m. and like Vegas is just full on tilt at that point, right? Everyone is just amped up. And so I was staying at Paris, and so I went down and I was just sitting there playing some video poker, just watching everything going on. I was by myself, and I hear two guys like arguing. Next thing I know, I hear like chairs toppling over, and one dude, just expletive after expletive, and then you just hear thump and then thud. And I turn around, and dude is just out cold on the floor. And within seconds, the other dude is being tackled by security. And it's just like, that's the sort of stuff that you just like, I can't believe that just happened. So then you start seeing people, you see all the party goers coming home, everyone from the club coming home. And that's amusing. I love just watching the girls trying to walk in their heels at that time of night. It's just a hot mess. And then by like 4 a.m., everything has just calmed down and you're like the only one in the casino. And then by like 6 a.m., it's time for a stroll on the strip, and it is like the most peaceful time of day. And it's like you get to see the sunrise come up. You get to see the strip being cleaned, which is it's kind of like walking into a public bathroom and seeing like the blue water in the toilet. You think it's sterile, but it's just going to be befouled again. But that's like my favorite time of day is that between 4 and 6 a.m. where everything is just calmed down, and then I'll take a nap at 10 or 11, get up and do it all over again. So I'm getting 6 hours of sleep a day, but just picking and choosing where I get them.
By the way, I agree with you 100%. One of the coolest, and maybe this is because we've been there so often, but one of the coolest experiences on the strip is that 4 to 6 a.m. period when the light is just breaking and you go out to the strip and there's not a car out there, no people. It's the Vegas Strip, peace and quiet, and all the lights are just, you can still see all the lights because the dawn hasn't broken just quite yet. It's beautiful out there.
Yeah. It's so cool from like 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. You go from one extreme to another. So in a matter of 2 hours, you've gone from the peak to the bottom in terms of energy. That's the best time to be awake.
Yeah. The other funny thing that I thought of when you were talking is the two guys who fought on the floor and one guy got laid out. I was at Planet Hollywood and I saw a guy pass out just like over like in the corner against the wall, just too much to drink, I guess, just passed right out on the floor. Within 30 seconds, security was there standing in front of him, blocking the view, waiting for, the medics to come. And about 30 seconds after that, after the two security guys come, they put up like 2 or 3 like of those yellow bathroom signs around him, again trying to hide the caution wet floor, that kind of thing. And it just they just shielded the guy because it's not the kind of thing that they want people to see, and so they hide him as much as possible until medics come. And then just like maybe it was about 5, maybe 10 minutes, and then the guy, before the medics got there, the guy just popped up, looked around, and then ran off. Like, I guess he just needed a cat nap.
Yeah.
And the casino floor was a good place to do it.
I saw some guy over at the Link. There's 2 sets of doors. So you go in the first set of door and then another set of door to get into the casino. And he was kind of in that atrium area between the 2 sets of doors. And he was squatted down. He had his forehead up against the glass. So just imagine this guy like leaned over with his head on the glass and he's licking the window. I don't know if you thought he was cleaning it or if the schnozberries just tasted like schnozberries. It's like, where else would you see something like that?
Oh man! All right.
Oh, this has been fun. I appreciate it. It's fun to just talk about Vegas.
I appreciate you coming on the show, man. We'll have you back on in the near future because I do want to find out. You recently took your wife to Vegas, and well, you want to tell a little bit about that or what you did?
Oh well, it was a fun trip. So it was sort of a makeup trip. So we had gone out previous August, and I thought we had a good time, but apparently we didn't. When we got back, and I said, "You want to go back again?" She told me no. And so I was jonesing pretty hard to get back to Vegas, and so I came up with this romantic trip for us, and I had to sell it to her, and it ended up being a blast, and she wants to go back now, so I did something right.
All right, man. Well, thanks for hanging out. Like, after we sign off, hang out, we'll talk a little more, but so thank you for coming on the show. It's
been great talking to you, Chris. I miss you, and I can't wait to see you again.
So, making a return visit to our show is Adam from the Vegas Fanboy podcast. But before I bring him up, I should explain what this article is and where it came from. This article caught my eye on Twitter. It was making the rounds, and it seemed to have really pissed off a lot of people back in early February. It is called Why I Hate Las Vegas, written by Julie Bindel, and it appeared in The Guardian. Considering that it came from The Guardian, I reached out to a couple of Podern family members and asked if they would be willing to contribute a reading of this article for us. The generous guys over at the 98 Problems podcast said, absolutely, I'd be happy to do that. So that's what this is. This little piece is one of the guys from the 98 Problems podcast reading the article in one of their character voices, Cecil, and this is Adam and I commenting on it. You know, I want to definitely preface it and say she is welcome to her opinion.
Absolutely.
And if she doesn't necessarily like Vegas, that's, you know, her right to not like Vegas.
Right.
But we do want to have a little bit of fun because she's a writer and she puts her stuff out there publicly to be consumed.
Right.
And she wrote about it and hated it. And it's kind of like as if I wrote an art, like I went to Paris. Not bragging, went there on my honeymoon, didn't have a good time, didn't care for Paris. I'm not going to write an article saying that it's full of cheese eaters, and I'm not going to insult the culture. And so the fact that she actually went out to insult Las Vegas culture, to me, makes this article somewhat fair game.
Absolutely.
I mean, she starts off the article, and let me go ahead and do this. What we have is, rather than you or I reading this article that this British woman wrote, I reached out to some friends of mine over at the 98 Problems podcast. It's because we couldn't get a hold of Julie. She didn't return any of my emails. The author.
Surprisingly. Were you emailing from Faces and Aces Las Vegas? Is that what you're doing? She wants nothing to do with that city anymore.
Yeah. Yes. Well, we'll get to that in a moment. So looking at the first paragraph.
Hello, Cedric here from the 98 Problems podcast. Just going to read you a little article on the UK Guardian website. It's a newspaper for those of you that didn't know. The article's called Why I Hate Las Vegas by Julie Bindel. It has horrible malls, miserable gamblers and a depressing sex trade. The fact that idiot trophy hunters convene here is just one more reason to loathe the place. Right, let's get to the chunks of it. Reading about Safari Club International holding its Ultimate Hunters Market in Las Vegas, I remember how much I detested Las Vegas when I visited 3 years ago. SCI gives its members an opportunity to compete with other trophy hunters to earn awards for killing the largest or most types of animals. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, remember?
Okay, so I find that first paragraph just odd. What is the point of bringing out Safari Club? It has nothing to do with Las Vegas.
No, but she was reading about it, and that's what was a catalyst for her remembering how much she detested Las Vegas when she was there 3 years ago. But I don't know. We don't know what happened. What happened 3 years ago that made her so jaded to Las Vegas?
Wouldn't we? Yeah, I'd love to know. I would really love to know. All right, so moving on. She complained. Well, here, we'll play a little more.
When I checked into my hotel on that 4 miles of monstrosity known as the Strip, I was handed a keycard adorned with a photograph of a pouting bikini-clad woman, with a telephone number underneath, urging me to call if I wanted to party in my room. I found several leaflets telling me I could order a girl to my room to keep me company. Outside were several men wearing t-shirts advertising various sex entertainment establishments.
Okay, so she complains about bikini-clad woman with a telephone on the key card? When have you ever seen that?
I call absolute BS on this. Where was she staying? Is what I want to know.
I mean, did she confuse her room key with one of those porn slapper cards that someone handed her?
I don't know where she stayed. I've never seen this before on a room key, ever.
Right. Or is she mistaking Britney Spears as some kind of prostitute?
Right, exactly. But, okay, how upset would someone be if you had a picture of Britney Spears on your key card and there was a phone number underneath telling you to call if you wanted to party? Like, yeah, I'll call Britney Spears. You can come party with me. That's fine.
No, but seriously,
I have no idea where she's staying. I can't picture it in my mind any place that would actually do that. Because she's clearly alluding to a lady of the night, right, being on her key card with a number on it. So I can't imagine that actually being true.
Right, especially considering that prostitution is illegal in Las Vegas. You cannot order a hooker to your room, and Lord knows I've tried. I mean, so I've heard.
Is your wife right there? Yeah.
So I've heard. But you can't order a hooker if you wanted to. Well, I mean, quietly, I suppose, but...
Right. But the hotels aren't going to help you in that regard. It's not like, yeah, use our rooms for this. This is great.
Yeah. Okay. So let's move on to the next part.
After relaxing for an hour on my king-size bed listening to the screaming stag party in the room next to me, I decided to give up on the jet lag and head downstairs for something to eat. It was 3 p.m. I had to fight my way through crowds of gamblers, many on motorised scooters. Often not because of actual disabilities, I later discovered, but sheer laziness. Smoking? Yes, casino hotels allow smoking indoors, with giant soft drink containers in the holder, and burgers or popcorn on their lap. They were milling around between slot machines and poker tables, looking broke, miserable, and addicted.
Yeah, she's kind of got a point there. Okay, you win this one.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, she's not off there.
And saw something that literally took my breath away. There was an actual McDonald's in the actual hotel, and the queue for it was massive. I did not have to eat there, of course. I had other choices. There were 3 Starbucks, 1 Fatburger, and a Dunkin' Donut.
Okay, so wait, this part, okay. She says there's an actual McDonald's in the actual hotel. I don't know which hotel has a McDonald's in it.
I don't know either. Perhaps one of the food courts, and I'm not that familiar with the food courts, but she also said that it was right next to a Starbucks, a Fatburger, and a Dunkin' Donuts. Again, I think I'm calling BS on this.
Yeah, I don't know any place that has all of those fine. I'm not going to bemoan those establishments. They're all very fine, but I don't know any place that has all of those.
I wish you would share, because I would actually like to stay there.
Right. You just go, it's just a veritable buffet right there.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, Dunkin' Donuts. I don't know of any Dunkin' Donuts on the Strip. Do you?
I do not.
Let's see. Moving on. We'll play a little bit more.
There are, for example, the wedding chapels for $350. You could have the use of the Elvis Presley Graceland Wedding Chapel inside the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino for 45 minutes to get married. Then use a complimentary tickets to get the Elvis exhibition into Mother Resort and Casino, all without stepping outside at all. But don't worry about the lack of exercise, as you'll find yourself walking for at least 5 miles each day just getting from your hotel room to the lift.
Let's see, do you have any beef with getting married at the Graceland Wedding Chapel?
No, I don't. But she's saying, don't worry about the lack of exercise. You'll find yourself walking at least 5 miles each day, just getting from your hotel room to the lift.
And that's just complaining. That's just flat out.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't really criticize people for using a rascal scooter on one hand and then complain on the other hand that you have to walk too much. It's either the people on the rascal scooter are brilliant or they're lazy. One or the other. It can't be both.
Yeah.
Put on some comfortable shoes, get some exercise.
You were just at Fatburger, Dunkin' Donuts, and 3 of the Starbucks. I mean, you could use a little bit of a walk, I guess, right?
There you go. Throw on your Fitbit and get your 10,000 steps.
That's it.
Okay. Which she does go on. Well, we'll play a little bit more.
Then there are all-you-can-eat restaurants where folk pile 5 kilos of steaks on their plate that don't have a liquor license. Most men walk around in flip-flops and the women are in head-to-toe stretchy tracksuits with those stupid bum bags around their waists.
She does go on to complain about how much we Americans eat. I don't know. I don't know if I could falter there.
I mean, she's not wrong. You don't have to bring it up. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, there's a guy in my office who, he eats a little bit more than everyone else, but I'm not going to point it out to him. That's not going to do anything.
I mean, I just may happen to be wearing flip-flops right now. And yes, I find tracksuits comfortable, but...
Sue us. What are we going to do?
And closing it out, we'll go ahead and finish up her final thoughts here.
Sunset in the Nevada desert is something of a rare beauty, but on the Strip there is literally nowhere to see it. Having to walk through the ugliest malls in the world to get to your hotel is bad enough, but queuing for an hour for a taxi to then have to listen to the driver tell you he's a budding actor / screenwriter / hand model is not much better. The whole place is so ugly, it's no wonder many visitors say they would never go again. Given a choice between a week in Vegas and one in a silent, alcohol-free yoga retreat, I would seriously consider the latter, for a whole minute at least.
Okay, so she's complaining that there is nowhere to see the beauty of the Nevada desert on the Strip. What?
Yeah. The whole place is so ugly, it's no wonder many visitors say they would never go again. Are you out of your mind? Like, it's just broken records for visitorship in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Really, really odd. Really odd.
There, you could see the sunset pretty much. You go on the high roller, go to the top of any hotel. You have a beautiful view of the desert from pretty much the top of any hotel.
Yeah, exactly.
And a beautiful sunset. And for that matter, if you want to go 15, 20 minutes outside of the city, plenty of beautiful hiking.
Yeah, exactly. And for a lot of people, it's not the sunset that we like. It's when the sun actually does set and you get to see kind of the city come alive and the lights and everything. That's what I enjoy. But apparently I am wrong.
We are very sorry that she had such a bad time in Vegas.
But I mean, like, you're looking at McDonald's and Las Vegas has some of the best restaurants in the world. Michelin star chefs love to set up shop in Las Vegas. Here's the thing. The comments on her article are all pretty much supporting her.
Do they really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Such as?
Let's see here. Went there a few years back, and I found the place to be completely soulless. A horrible dump of a hole filled with loud noises, obesity, and buffets.
Oh, that's fair. If I had a soul, I may not go to Vegas.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Well, let's see. There's a couple really good ones here. There's someone says, "Yep, that's Vegas, a complete toilet."
I mean, a majority of the comments that I remember seeing were from people from Vegas saying, if you don't like it, then don't come.
I want to buy her a beer. Be like, why don't you come to Detroit? And this will brighten your spirits a little bit. If you want to see a city that needs some work, you can come here to Detroit, and I'll walk you around a little bit.
All right. Well, Adam, thanks for hanging out, giving your thoughts on Julie's article.
Of course. Julie, if you're listening, Chris and I want to buy you a beer. We want a pint. We want to hang out in Las Vegas. We'll take you to a buffet. Well, maybe not a buffet. She doesn't like buffets.
No, but we'll take her to the pub. There's a new one that just opened downtown.
Oh, yeah. There we go. We'll take her there. Yeah, she'll feel right at home, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll show you the nice part of Vegas.
Yeah, it'll be great.
So thanks once again to Alex from the 98 Problems podcast for coming on and reading that article for us. I reached out to them and asked them if they'd be willing to contribute a little something to the show. And to their credit and their generosity, they did. And we appreciate it so much. And in return, what we'd like to do is do something a little bit more than just play a promo from their show. We want to play a couple minutes from the 98 Problems podcast, so that way you get a really good idea of what they do over there. So what I did was I took about 3 minutes of one of their recent episodes, the one where they talked to Adam Carolla, and they solved one of his problems. Here's what that sounded like.
Welcome to 98 Problems with your hosts Mike and
I'm Alex.
We are here this week to sort out a problem. Someone will have a phone in, have a problem, and we'll kind of dig down deep. We're sort of like moles in the problem world. Let's see. Sammy, can you turn your mic on, please? We have got someone on the phone. He's not from this constituency.
All right. Where's he from? Like,
sort of, he's further afield. Where would you say he could be from?
Carlisle. Cardiff.
He's from the US.
Oh, right, across the pond.
Yes, he's on the phone. He's got a problem. His name is Adam Carolla. He called in. He said, "Sammy, he's got a problem. He needs to be, he needs some help." And so I said, "Don't you worry, Adam. I know the chaps who can help." He's from the United States. Is that costing us a lot of money? Well, yeah, it's international call, isn't it?
Oh, God.
Well, there goes the budget.
Well, it's obviously not, so let's speak to whoever this is.
Sammy, can you put on Adam Carolla, please? Yes, I'll put him on now. Yes, could you? Patching him through now. Put him on, please. He's on now. Hello, Adam. So thank you very much for calling into the show. I just wanted to say, have you got a problem that we can maybe help you with?
I'm driving right now my, as you would call it, Jaguar XJR, $115,000 supercharged car that lots of Conley leather and amenities abound. The other day, I woke up early to go do a television show on Spike called Catch a Contractor, and I was sitting there, my massage going on the seats and the air conditioning blowing. I have a padded leather-wrapped steering wheel that probably costs more than the average automobile, except for I had one big problem. That it's so advanced it has a heater in the steering wheel to keep your thumb and forefingers warm while you're driving, and I had no way of turning it off.
We will we'll explore this problem for you, and we'll we've got a lead already, haven't we, Alex? I think you're thinking what I'm thinking, aren't you?
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
My name is Mike. And I'm Alex. We host the award-winning 98 Problems podcast show. And we got a lot of problems.
Speak for yourself.
No, people call into the show and we try and solve their first world problems like this.
Got a problem down the wildlife sanctuary. Someone's budgie smuggling. I've got my hand stuck in a mole hole.
Can't you just dig it out?
It's not that sort of hole.
Become a member today. It's free and you'll get access to tons of exclusive content. And you'll be my friend.
Don't let that put you off.
And that's going to do it for another episode of Faces and Aces Las Vegas. I'd like to thank Kyle for coming on the show and sharing one of his fantastic Vegas stories with us. If you'd like to follow Kyle, you can follow him over on Twitter at KaiBen2000. We'll have that link in the show notes. Also, I'd like to thank Maria, Ed, and James over at the Hofbrauhaus Las Vegas for putting together a fantastic interview space for us to use while we were there. Thank you for the spanking, thank you for the good food, thank you for the good beer, and thank you for the good times. I'd also like to thank Adam from the Vegas Fanboy podcast. Adam is going to be celebrating his 50th episode very soon. Please stay tuned and keep your eye open for that special episode when it drops. If you'd like to go check him out, you can find him over at vegasfanboy.com. I'd also like to thank the guys from the 98 Problems podcast. If you are looking for a fantastic comedy podcast to listen to, please go give them a listen. You can find them over at 98problems.co.uk. Thanks to Aaron for being my Vegas travel partner. Thanks to you for listening. And remember, what happens in Vegas ends up on this podcast.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.
Instead of being man and wife, you'll be butt buddies. You won't be betrothed, you'll be butt buddies.
Go.